I have a confession. I don't have a video for this week. At least not the video I was planning on making. If you've been watching my videos, you've probably noticed that my studio looks a bit different. And even if you haven't been watching, you probably can tell it's a complete disaster. The reason for that, and the reason I don't have a video, hyperfocus. I have been so focused on getting my studio set up exactly as I want it to be that I prioritized it over everything else. I haven't even been able to think about making videos because I've been too busy organizing my scrap paper pile. And it's not even close to being done. And I suddenly realized that I need a video for this week. I don't have one. And instead of just pretending that everything is fine and making the video I was planning on making, it's all scripted, I just have to film it, I decided to be a little bit more real this week and at least be honest about my own ADHD struggles, because it's easy for me to get on here and pretend that my life is perfect and I've solved all my problems. But in reality, ADHD is still a huge obstacle that I have to face every single day. I am obsessed with having things look a certain way. I get a lot of dopamine from things being as I want them to be and the colors I want them to be. And I can get completely hyperfocused to the point where I spent nearly 12 hours painting these walls white with no help. I didn't stop to eat or pee half the time. And I exhausted myself to the point where I had to cancel appointments. And that's just the reality that I live in. But let's talk about something way more fun, at least for me. Let's talk about my studio. I'm super excited. So I'm going to give you a short tour. This built-in bookshelf was a hideous wood and it was filthy. And it looks so great displaying my miniatures now that it's clean and white. I got this shelf off Amazon. I'm not sure if I'm going to link it in the description because, well, I bought two of them and only one was usable. So I'm returning the other. I got all those turquoise buckets and the caddy up there at the Dollarama, and the shelf itself came with those the hooks where the scissors are at, and the hanging baskets I got from IKEA years ago. Over here, this is where I keep all of my materials to build miniatures and a bunch of junk on top of it right now, and hopefully I'll get that organized later on today. Over here, we have all these cups full of my colored pencils and my pens and just regular pencils, all that sorts of stuff. Then down here, I've got my paintbrushes, what I call my fancy scissors, which are when they have a design cut into them. So when you cut the paper, it creates a design. Um, and hole punchers, all that stuff. I don't think I'm going to keep things like this, but for now, it's working. This is the dollhouse, which I recently put on these plastic storage containers just to get it off the ground and to clear up some floor space. I'm not entirely sure I like it, and I'm thinking maybe I can just find a new way to store the stuff that's in the drawers, and then I can just get rid of them altogether. This is a complete disaster. It's just random stuff. It's where I've been putting stuff when I don't have anywhere else to put it. Over here, we've got a lot more organization. That's how I keep my markers. That's actually just a regular like cardboard box, and the inside has a bunch of the toilet paper rolls that I've painted black, and then they're just put on a slight angle so they don't fall out. And yeah, I haven't even glued them in there. They just stay in there on their own. The turquoise boxes have all my little trinkets and stuff. So keychains, miniature weapons, miniature bones, all that sort of stuff. Those are actually the boxes that came in My weed containers. I live in Canada, it's legal here, and when they first made it legal, all the weed came in these like containers or jars, and then inside these boxes. The outside of the boxes were a dark blue, like the ones next to it, but the inside of these boxes was this gorgeous turquoise color. So I painstakingly cut them open, turned them inside out, and now use them to store a lot of my fancier little trinkets and stuff. The boxes over there are all from the dollar store. They're nothing fancy. They hold random things, mostly things that would be for like fairy houses or the landscaping for my miniatures. The black bins contain all my paper and magazines for collages. These are all hat boxes, and they used to contain my paint, but my paint is now over here in this Lazy Susan. I need to get another one because it's not enough. I'm not actually sure what I'm going to put in those hat boxes now that they're empty, but I'm definitely keeping them because I absolutely love them. I covered them with an old skull bedsheet that had gotten torn up, so I couldn't use it anymore. And I really love how they turned out. The stuff down here, there's my watercolor paints in the drawers. There's threads and ribbons and paper, all that sort of stuff. I plan on painting that chair a turquoise color. I've got the paint, I just haven't gotten around to it. Quick tip, if you want to paint a chair, you can make a really quick and easy fabric paint out of 1 part acrylic or latex paint and 1 part fabric softener. You can add a little bit of water in there just to keep it from getting too crusty. And that works great for fabric that you can like throw in the washer, but for a chair, you need to put a very thin layer on and then sand it down and then build up the layers, and that'll keep it soft so it doesn't get all crusty. And that yellow thing holds a whole bunch of my oversized paper, which I do plan on getting rid of and putting the paper in those wire baskets that are on the floor that are full of random stuff right now. And this is my work table. I've had these little shelves for a long time now, but I've only recently painted them. The color's not showing up very well. They're definitely more of a turquoise than a blue. Um, and I'm probably going to hang them on the wall right there. But my original plan was to put my paints in them, but it turns out that they're just slightly too small to fit the paint bottles. And I'm not sure. I've got a couple of ideas for this empty space. It's nice to actually have an empty space because that hasn't been the case for a while. And yeah, the rest over here is just a little bit of chaos that I haven't organized yet. Um, so that is my studio tour. And as you can see, I am mid hyperfocus. There's nothing I can do. I have no control. I need to continue working on it until it's done. So that's the video for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit of a departure from my regular videos that are a lot more informative, but this is my ADHD reality. So yeah, hopefully you'll stick around, come back next week, and I'll have more of a refined video. Yeah, bye.